Hello folks and welcome to App Screencast. Danny here and welcome to the third episode of this series on an iPhone user switching over to a larger screened Android device. Now the folks at Free were kind enough to send out the HTC Sensation XL for review. Now in this video I'm going to show you the actual OS running on the phone and go into the pros and cons, what I like about it, what I dislike about it. Now if we go into software information we can actually see the phone's running Android 2.3.5. So it's running obviously quite a new version of the OS but not the latest. And you'll notice with Android that a lot of phones are coming out in the market now and they're not running the latest version, they're running an older version. And that can be said about this phone and about phones what have just come out on the market, which is kind of a disappointment, and that's one of the reasons I really dislike Android in the way they actually update the software. Is that Google's fault or is it the phone manufacturer's fault? I'm not quite sure, but it definitely shouldn't be the case. If you go into the shop and you're buying a new phone, I think it should come with the latest software. That's kind of what you get when you go into the Apple Store and buy an iPhone. You get the latest version of the software. I think it should be the same with an Android device, but no it isn't. This phone's also running HTC Sense version 3.5 on top of Android. Now this is not even the latest version of HTC Sense. HTC Sense is now into its fourth version, so a little bit behind in that as well. Now let me show you some things I do like. Now the actual lock screen, when you actually power your screen on, you've got the option of unlocking the phone by dragging the ring up and it will unlock the phone. Also what's quite cool is you can have some of your favourite apps on the lock screen and applications you want to get quick access to. For example the camera app, I can just grab that, drag it into the actual ring and it'll give me quick access to the camera. So if I want to take a quick picture, it's going to be really fast. Also if you want to obviously send a quick text, you just drag and drop the text icon into the ring and you can quickly access your messages. Again, really useful, really like that. So let's unlock it. When you unlock the phone, you'll more likely be greeted with the actual HTC weather widget, which is really cool. You obviously get the clock and the weather. Now this is a smaller version of that. There's actually a bigger version what takes up a little bit more room. I decided to have the smaller version of that widget. That's pretty cool. Now at the bottom you can see you've got quick access to the phone. If I click on that you can obviously also we can straight to all apps, which will give us a list of all our apps on the phone, alphabetical order. Also we can go to personalise, which will give us more options to personalise the phone. I'm not quite sure why they've actually got personalise there, because I won't think it's something you'd want to access all the time, maybe just now and again, but they have. And you can obviously change your wallpapers, your shortcuts, your widgets, etc. Even your sounds. Now, cool thing in Android is you can pull down this top bit here and you can then get quick access to the most used apps or apps you last used. So it'll give you a list of applications you've last had open or are running. Now, also we get notifications appearing in here, so if you've got a text message or an email, anything like that, it will appear in this area, the notification area. Now we can go to quick settings, which will give us quick access to some of the settings such as Wi-Fi hotspot, quickly turn on your Bluetooth, quickly turn your phone into airplane mode, and also see what routers, wireless routers you can connect to. Now let's go back into the apps, I'll quickly show you that. So obviously we've got all the apps here, and these are pretty much most of the apps what came on the phone. I've installed a few extra ones, but generally these are the apps what came on the phone. If we go to frequent, I'll give you apps with like last use or applications we've used the most, I should say. Then we can go to download and we can see what applications we've actually downloaded. As you can see, I've downloaded a few, but a lot of these are actually updated versions of the apps. They actually were pre-installed, such as Facebook were already on the phone, and it's obviously been updated to a newer version. So let's go into a little bit more detail into personalise, and from here you can obviously change the widgets what appear on the home screen. You can actually choose what apps you have appearing in the home screen, so obviously shortcuts to them apps. Also if there's a specific feature or setting you want quick access to, you can create a shortcut for that. You can also organise things with folders, so you can create folders, which is pretty cool. So you can have multiple applications in the folders. So let's just quickly do that and we'll create a new folder. As you can see it appears on the menu here and we can put things into that. I think that's a HTC Sense feature. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. But the actual new version of Android obviously has folders as well. Now if we go into display, we can actually choose a different theme if we want, or skin. So if you don't want the normal HTC Sense theme, you can go for like a blue sky theme or a darker theme if you wish to. So there's 3 themes to choose from. Also you can access and download more. Now we can go into wallpapers and change that, and we can actually access live wallpapers. I'll just show you what one of them looks like. So for example this one here, we'll preview it, and as you can see we've got bubbles floating around in the background on the home screen. I personally don't have that on just because I think it potentially uses more battery, but some people like that and are willing to sacrifice a little bit of battery to have that cool effect in the background. Now there's multiple live themes to choose from, that's just one of them. If we go into lock screen style, we can actually change how the lock screen looks like. So at the minute that's just your standard one, which I've got, but we've got a few different ones we can choose from. Like this one here, which allows us to have pictures on the home screen. One which will show your messages or even your friend stream, I should say. We've got a weather one, which is pretty cool, so you can have the weather on your lock screen at all times. Have a big clock on even, which is nice. So if we go into sounds, we can obviously customize the sounds in here, so we can do ringtone sounds, notification sounds, etc. Pretty straightforward. Now I'll quickly show you how easy it is to actually add a widget to the home screen. So we've got a spare home screen here, so I'm going to just add a widget here. And we just hold down on the screen and we can quickly choose a widget. And I'll choose the calendar widget and we'll go for this big one here. I don't normally like this one, but I'll go for it in this video. And as you can see, there we go. We've got a big widget on our home screen, access to our calendar. And personally, I think this is not a very good one. I just might as well launch the actual calendar app. But that's an idea of how widgets work. As you see, I've got the Twitter widget, which gives me access to Twitter. Now, I don't like these big widgets because I don't really see the point to them. They're just like dumbed down versions of the apps. They're taking up as much screen as an app would. So why not just launch the app where you'll actually add more settings and be able to do a lot more. So I basically don't like them big widgets. But I like these little widgets like this one here. It's a calendar widget, which tells me what my next event is, which is really cool. And also, the clock widget's quite useful, giving you the weather. Now let's go to the Play Store, and this is somewhere where you can download new apps. Now on this phone you can actually go to the HTC Hub, which is a kind of HTC store, but I generally use the Google Play Store. So this is kind of the Android market, but it's now called Google Play. And we can check all the applications out, and we can actually go to top paid apps. And there's hundreds and hundreds of apps here. And we go to free apps as well, and there's hundreds of them as well. You can also download books, music, various stuff from that store if you wish to. Also, what you can do with HTC Sensor, if you tap the home button, it gives you quick access to all your home screens, which is quite cool. Now in the newer version of Android, you can actually use one of these buttons to actually access your applications that are currently running, like a bit like a task manager or a way to jump between applications. Unfortunately, on this version of Android, you cannot do that. Now, a lot of actual applications, and generally on the phone OS, you've got to use the menu button a lot. So, for example, if I'm in the internet browser, if I go onto menu, it will actually give me some extra options. And this is something you've got to kind of get used to when you use Android. If you, like me, who's used to using an iPhone, you obviously don't have all these extra buttons, and a lot of the controls are on screen. But with Android, a lot of times you've got to tap the menu button. That's something to get used to in Android. So as you can see from this footage, the actual phone runs quite well. I've been quite impressed with. It's only a single core processor, but it is 1.5 gigahertz, and it does perform pretty well on this version of Android. Major problems with it lagging or anything like that. Now, I've not done no major gaming on it or anything like that. I've just been doing it as general use, just like I would normally with my current phone. And played some Angry Birds and things like that, but generally I haven't tried to put any heavy games on this, any 3D games or all like that. I've just been generally using it for Twitter and Facebook, emailing, things like that, browsing the web. Generally what I do with my iPhone. Now, one thing I got to say, this phone does come with Flash Player, but Flash Player is just shocking. It's really, really bad. It just stutters, it's choppy, it just feels glitchy. The phone can't handle it. I don't think most mobile phones can handle the Flash Player, and I'm really glad that we're not going to see Adobe Flash much longer on mobile devices. Adobe have kind of gave up on it. Generally, I've been pretty impressed with the performance. Generally, web browsing, all that kind of thing, it's really good. So yeah, hopefully you found this video quite useful, and check out the next video where I'll be actually giving my final thoughts on the phone, telling you if I actually like it, if I actually going to go out and buy a bigger screen phone, or go out and buy this phone, or if I'm going to stick with the iPhone. So you have to wait to the next video to get my views on that.